So today I'm going to be going over all of the elements of my ePortfolio that I wrote the code for. Um, I'm going to start just up here at the top, this section here, the basically header of my page. What I did for this was, since I used a template, this little box came coded already in the HTML. But what I did was made this box a little bit smaller. It used to be a lot bigger, and I didn't like how much of my blog and ePortfolio it was really taking over, so I made it a little bit smaller. I did that within the CSS code, which I actually can't get to show up over here on the right side, so I'm going to switch over to my Dreamweaver really quickly. That's what this section here is. I just changed my height so the number was smaller. And I also set the background color to be that sort of teal. I just did that by adjusting for the red, green, and blue, and then I made it a little bit lighter of a color by changing this number here. It was darker before, and I didn't like how dark it was, so I switched it. So going back to my blog and my portfolio, here I just kind of wanted a title to say what was going on, and then right underneath that is where I put this part. This part is actually an entire box, and so these four elements are within that box. It starts with, I can scroll down here to show so you can see the box outlined right here. And then I put in each of those elements, and there's, to put the spaces in between them, I added in this code here, the ampersand NBSP semicolon. Then I just did an equal number of times in between each of those tabs. So I'm just going to go over what each of these four tabs does. This home button would just take you right back to the home page of my portfolio. When you click the blog button, it opens up my blog into a separate window. To get it to go into a separate window, I added underscore blank next to the code in the HTML section, which you can see right here. The portfolio button opens up my portfolio and different projects I've completed. Unfortunately, I can't get the portfolio button to open up to the page that I want to, so I actually just have the file opened up here, but this is what, once I can get it linked to this portfolio button here, is what it will look like. And I'm going to come back to this page, and then the final tab, going back to the main page of my blog, is this curriculum vitae, which is where it'll basically be my resume. I decided to go with the gray text that's a little bit lighter. I just like having the white background. I think it makes everything look a lot cleaner. And so that way when I add in color to different sections, they stand out really well. So moving on to the kind of main part of this page. So I have my welcome title up here. I decided to center that. I just think it looks the best right in the middle. So that's right there, and to do that I just added this center tag here. So actually everything that I have here is designed to be in the middle of the page as to aligned on the left or the right. And like I said, I did that right down here. And then, so on this main page, I just have kind of who I am as an educational technologist, as someone who is really getting their license to be able to help others with technology. And then I have a section here about my own educational philosophy. And then at the bottom, before I get to my footer, I have a way for people to contact me, and I actually have a form embedded right into the page. And that code is down here. I have to scroll down. That's what this entire thing is. So I have it mailing to, and then my own email. And then each of these is just those little boxes. And then finally, at the very bottom of the page is my footer. And within the footer, I have a couple things. I have links to all of my social media and other sites where people can see what I'm doing in relation to education. So I have my LinkedIn profile, which is this one here. I have my Pinterest linked, I have my Twitter linked, and I have my YouTube linked, which has all my videos I've done for education. And for each of these items, I thought it looked best if I used the same style of widgets instead of getting, like the individual Twitter one and the different one for YouTube and the one for Pinterest and the one for LinkedIn. So I want them all to be the same style. So I found the widgets for each of those and aligned them next to each other and centered them at the bottom. And then I hyperlinked each of these images to open up whatever site it was in a separate page. So if you clicked my LinkedIn button, it would open up my LinkedIn page in a separate tab. If you clicked Pinterest, it would open it separately. Twitter and YouTube are the same. So within this, to do that, I also did the underscore blank next to the target like I did up at the top page earlier. And for each of these, I just included the link, and then it's set so that when you click it, it opens up. So underneath these in my footer is my Creative Commons license. To get that, I just went to their website and put in what I was comfortable with, and then they give you the code to put it into your HTML so that it's embedded. And then last but not least, at the very bottom, I just had my name and year, and then the last time that my site was updated. All of this is contained within the footer tag, which starts up here and then it goes all the way down to the bottom here, and I have that footer end tag. So that's my main home page. And now I'm going to talk about, oh, I forgot one thing, which is that I embedded this picture of me on the site. I did that by just I found this sentence in the code, and I just went underneath it and inserted a break, which was the empty tag, and then put in that picture. So now I'm going to move on to the other tabs on this page. Like I said, this blog link will open up my blog in a separate window here. But the one that I really want to talk about is my portfolio page, so I'm going to go over to that. So my portfolio page, I want to make some changes to this in the future, but as for right now, I just have, when you go to this page, you will be able to see that we're at my portfolio. And let me open up the code down at the bottom. So what I did for this page is I have it set so you get to my portfolio, and then I just explain that this is some of my completed projects. And so I started with our solar system, which is an ebook that I wrote. So what I did was I was trying to embed a PDF using a PDF reader, but unfortunately I couldn't get it to work. So I had to just take a screenshot of what that front page would look like, and then hyperlinked it here. So when you click on this, it will actually open up my book here and you can read it that way. And I want to change this so that will open in a separate tab. So I'm going to go back to this page. Unfortunately, some of my fonts came out a little bit weird. I couldn't get these to look the same, even though these are technically, this whole section here is all part of the same project. I couldn't get it to come out the same, so that's something that I need to go back and try and fix. So one of my elements is my solar system book that I made, and then I also linked my teacher website that I made. And so for this, since you can't really embed a website within a website, I did the same that I did with the solar system book, and I took a screenshot of my main page, and then up here, my title where it says teacher website, that is hyperlinked, and I can explain how I did that with the code down at the bottom. So if I go down here, and then I have to come down, and when you go into the body section here, I can find that this whole thing is kind of sectioned off. So I have it set so it's in the center of the page, all that, and if I keep going, should have everything sectioned off. So this is our solar system one, and I'm trying to get down to where I talk about my teacher website. So here I have my teacher website. To hyperlink that, I put in over here, starting with the A tag, href is equal to and then I put the URL between the quotes. So if you click this, it will take you to my teacher website. Again, I want to change this so that it opens in a separate tab instead of making you leave the page. And I would do that by adding the underscore blank tab. So continuing on, I have to go back and drop all this on. Those are the two big elements that I implemented, and again for that I just put in a screenshot. This is not hyperlinked or anything, so all I had to do was embed the image on my page. I put the center tag around it again, and again, since that stuff was embedded in the footer, this stuff here, it will stay the same on this page, so all of this is accessible from the same page. And I did the same thing as I did with the solar system, where I wrote this little section here, and I have this text centered as well. So just to go over a couple of changes that I want to make to this blog, I'm going to close this coded part down a little bit so I can better explain it. I think what I want to do is add a little bit more to this background color, maybe have it be patterned. I think that will really help my blog stand out a little bit more because right now it's a little bit plain. And I also think I'm going to change these so they can be drop-down menus. On my home page, I don't want quite so much writing. I think I'm just going to include a picture and a much smaller little summary of me, and then within the drop-down menu have a section where people can click About Me and learn more about me as a student and as a teacher. And then I'm going to have a philosophy tab as well where I can really go into my teaching philosophy. My blog tab I'll keep the same, and then within my portfolio, I want to have a drop-down menu because there are two pages I want to have within my portfolio. I want to have one which will be like the showcase section where I can really go into detail about a couple projects that I'm really proud of, and then also something that will be sort of like an index where it's just an A to Z list of any project I've done that will hopefully help with the maneuverability of my website. And lastly, I think I'm going to add in a contact button over here on the right. Well, not button, just another one of these sort of navigation bar tabs, because I think having this down here at the bottom where I have this email section can make it look a little bit cluttered. So I want to have a whole separate page for emails over here, and I would also maybe include a little bit more about each of my social media sites, because I like that I have this section down here in the footer, but I want people to get a better feel for what each of those pages would look like if they decided to visit one of them. And that concludes the summary of my ePortfolio.